Now, just so you understand how the idle air control motors work, it's kind of easy to explain why I have this on here. So that's how it looks when it's on the car, right? This passageway right here is the idle air control bypass. So what it's doing is it's bringing air down in through here. Your IAC valve screws in here. That pintle runs in and out of this hole. That hole connects this hole to this hole. So basically it's a bypass. We're bypassing air across the throttle plate. So we're starting with air that's above the throttle plate. As that pintle moves backwards, it opens up and allows air to go across here. Well, the more air I bring from the top to the bottom, the higher the idle goes, right? If I open the throttle plate, what happens? I go fast, right? I close the throttle plate, I idle. Well, this is the same thing in a much smaller portion, right? So if my idle is too low, I pull the pintle back. That makes this opening larger, allows more air to bypass from one side of the throttle plate to the other side of the throttle plate, allowing the idle to come up. If the idle is too high, I close the pintle. That closes the hole between here and here, and then that brings the idle down. So we have two of them because we have Crossfire. We have two throttle knobs, right? So that's how the IAC works. So I thought I'd take a second to show you something that I found on these IAC valves. They're aftermarket valves. All right, so today we're going to try to rebuild this throttle body, or actually both of them, but we'll do one at a time. First thing I wanted to show you was Michael, who sent me this car. He put in new IAC valves. He was having all sorts of idling problems and everything else, and you can see that I can hold the pintle and I can turn this all that I want. And I've never really even seen one that did this. It's not screwing in, it's not screwing out. I had these things disassembled. I screwed them back in and Loctited them. I've never seen one that actually turns. Both of his, they turn. Does that mean that they're no good? I'm not quite sure. I've just never seen anything do that. I don't know if it's some cheap Chinese knockoff, and they work that way. I don't know. All I know is I have a couple of spares on mine because I have two complete intake setups for my Crossfire. One that's on the car and one that I'm in the process of rebuilding. And these don't turn, right? They're locked in tight. They're just going to move in and out, but they're not going to spin. Now that's off of my throttle body, and I put one in his car just to see if it would make any difference. He sent me a box of old parts. Here's his old one. Once again, it doesn't spin. Here's the one out of his other side. Once again, it doesn't spin. So I don't know what this is about, and I'm afraid to put them in. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how that's supposed to work. I've never seen one that spun. The pintle actually spun all the way out and disconnected, and the spring came out. I put blue Loctite on the threads, and I ran the threads back in there. So I think the whole barrel is turning and not the threads anymore because they're Loctited in. They've sat for a couple of days. But kind of afraid to put them back in. So not sure what I'm going to do with them, whether I'm going to try his old ones, try those, buy another set. So just as an update on that IAC video I did, so you saw that I had a bunch of IAC valves and I had some fairly new ones, and they spun. When I originally spun them, they actually pulled the pintle right out of them. So I Loctited them, put them back in. I put them on the car. It didn't work. The car wouldn't go under 1,500 RPMs. So I had two old ones that he had in the car. I put them in. They didn't work. I still couldn't get the car to idle down. I started doing a mix and match thing. I had some IACs laying around that on my bench from throttle bodies that I had laying around here. Mix and match. I finally got one of them that would work. So I ended up ordering another one, and 7 IAC valves later, I finally got 2 of them that worked, and I got the idle that would come down to about 800, 700, 800, 900 with the air conditioner on. So that's where we left off, right? Out of those 2 new ones, and they spun, one worked, one didn't work. Out of the old ones, I couldn't get any of them to work. And I ordered one more, put it in, and it seemed to work. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe.